injunction, the discharge injunction. So, if y'all want to learn how to discharge any and everything, you will be at that seminar, February 26th. It's the only place I'm going to teach it. I'm tired of motherfuckers stealing my work, biting it, using it, and selling it. So that's the only place I'm going to teach it. February 26th, the discharge webinar. Discharge seminar. The name of the seminar is Setting the Record Straight. Yes, I was talking about all your bills and all that. That's what we're going to set straight. It's going to be a discharge seminar. So get your tickets at jonahbay.com for that up and coming seminar. Anyway, let me see if I see this brother. I believe I see him. Who that peeping in my window?
Peace, God. Peace, God.
Why didn't you raise your hand?
It's my first time calling in.
You ain't never called in? I keep on forgetting you kind of a newbie. Yeah, you kind of a newbie. So I got a few questions to ask you before we go into what you want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Okay.
How you find out about me?
So I was doing research. I got brought into this information by a friend of mine, and I was doing a lot of research on the information he gave me. And so I was sharing the information with one of my brothers that's in the federal prison.
Right.
And I was up there in Kentucky with a guy, and he was telling me about this type of stuff. I know a little bit about it. He said, man, it's a dude named Jonah Bay. I'm like, Jonah Bay? He's like, yeah, look up Jonah Bay on YouTube and stuff. That's who he was talking about. And so I'm like, all right. So I looked you up. And when I found you, I found out that, a lot of the information that I was getting from these other people, it had your name on it. I never knew who Jonah Bay was until I found your information. And I was like, oh, so they getting their shit from him. And so that made me just plug all the way to you instead of going through them.
So you basically saying I'm the teacher.
I get it from the source. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm the teacher of the teachers.
No, for sure that.
Okay. So you came to me for a specific problem, and I was a tough teacher, wasn't I?
No, you were. You was definitely tough, but it was worth it.
What did I tell you? I was rough because of why, and you would be happy when it was over.
You was rough because you knew that it would work. You know that it works, and it was also rough because if you weren't rough to me, then I probably wouldn't get it all the way how I needed to get it in order for me to proceed.
Do you remember when I said you'd be happy when it's over, and you would like me then?
I did.
I damn near cussed you out, didn't I?
Yeah, for sure.
Just because you did something I didn't ask you to do. And you took it as a real man, listened, said, yo, I ain't going to do that no more. Boom. I'm going to follow the script. And you did. Turned out. So now tell the people your story. Tell them what's going on with you.
All right. So I've been on child support for since I was 8, since I first turned 18.
How old are you?
And I'm 36 right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
half your life.
I had my son. Half of my life. All of my adult life. My whole adult life. Because I had my son when I was 17, and we signed the first order a month after I turned 18. I guess they couldn't sign it on me while I was 17, so I looked back at the original order. It said December of 2004. I turned 18 in November of 2004. So, I've been on child support all my life, and then I had went to jail for it the last year because when I started learning about all this information about the straw man and everything like that, I got fed up and I was like, I'm not paying it no more. Plus, my daughter lives with me. I had money, so I was paying it, and she was living with me. I wasn't tripping. I just didn't want to go to jail. You feel me?
Right.
So I fed up with it. I stopped paying it. And then last year they sent me a summons. They sent me a summons for a petition for criminal contempt. And I showed up to court thinking I was going to be able to talk to them about this newfound knowledge, and they was going to understand and let me slide. And they locked my ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So I did 10 days. They hit me with good times, 7 days, whatever. I got out. I just got hungry. I just got on the hunt for the information. I kept on researching it. So I felt like I was a little better off now than I was back then, and they sent me another court thing because I still hadn't paid it because she lives with me. I wasn't paying child support for her, and she's in my custody. So
right.
I said, stopped. I didn't pay no more, and they sent me another summons. Now this time, when they sent me this summons,
what was that summons called?
It was an alias summons, and it was for a petition of criminal contempt
to lock you up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So in the summons, which I learned was that, whatever it says, it's pretty much an affidavit. And so whatever it says in there is going to be the default judgment if I didn't respond to it.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So one of the points of their affidavit was respondent is guilty of criminal contempt. I'm like, how the fuck can I be found guilty? I ain't even been to court yet. But then I realized, okay, that's because they know that I'm not going to respond, so they're going to win by default judgment. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, how do I respond? So I hit you up. And you told me what to do. And you was like, oh, you a newbie. You was like, you need to do this first. You need to do it. So you told me to do the injunction first. I already had my birth certificate on it, important in this case right here. So you was like, oh, that's all you got? I said, yeah. He was like, well, you need to get the injunction. So I got the injunction. I was able to put the injunction in enough time before my court date. Then I got the child support injunction from you. And you know what I'm saying, like got it right for me. And you was like, I don't usually do people paperwork for them. I usually make them do their own paperwork. So by you telling me that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to rebut it then. I'm going to do a rebuttal on my own on top of what you did for me. That's what pissed you off because you made a real good point when you was like, y'all don't do the white man like that. You said, shit, if you're going to get a lawyer, he put in paperwork on your case. You don't go behind him and put no paperwork in on top of his shit, do you? And I was like, nah, you right. You was like, that's disrespectful. And I was like, I feel you. So, but then when I let you actually read the rebuttal, you was like, no, you did it right. You did it by the procedures. You did a good job. It ain't going to hurt you, but you didn't need to do it. And so I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that. My court date was Friday. I went on like the 20th of last month, or this last month, I went and dropped everything off. I drove down to the child support agency, handed them copies of the child support injunction, the regular injunction, which I had already put in with the sheriffs and the state governor and everything. And I handed them a copy of a rescission of signatures that you put together for me. And I also gave them a copy of my rebuttal that I did with the exhibits in it. And I made copies of those 4 documents. I gave to the child support agency. Then I went to the court clerk at the actual courthouse. Right. So I turned it in. And yeah, I turned that stuff in like on the 20th. Court date came up on February 3rd, which was Friday. And man, Jonah.
This is what we want to hear. What happened in court?
I didn't get a chance to chop the audio up yet, but
don't worry. When you give me the audio, I'm gonna put it up on Patreon. Give people a chance to hear it.
I text it to your phone. Let them know the court, the actual me talking to the judge and the DA. It actually starts at the 10-minute mark.
Okay, I'll put that in the notes. I'll put that in the notes.
Okay. So what happened was, I walked in the courthouse, and they was like, what was I here for? Whatever, going to circuit court, boom, boom. This, mind you, this is in circuit court, criminal court. This is a petition for criminal contempt, and they just locked me up for this same thing last time. Right. So you know shit is real. Yeah, I know it. I know if I didn't do what I did, I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the courthouse, walked in there, and when I got in, I walked straight up there to the courtroom. The funny thing is, they was waiting on me. Not only because my paperwork, but because they remember me from last time when they locked my ass up. Right. So as soon as I walked to the courtroom, he was like, "Are you Mr. Brown?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Your name ain't James Brown?" And I was like, "No, that's my I said, "That's an Inslegas, and I'm the owner of that. That's my property."
That's a hell of a name, James Brown.
That's my name. That's my mama's name. You know, she said, "This James from out the Bible." I was like, all right, I guess we can go with that. But I had to deal with that all my life, James Brown. But anyway, yeah. So I'm like, no, that's not me. But see, he remembered me from last time, so he didn't even he wasn't even calling out the docket. He just seen me walked in and straight said my name, my Inslegas. You know what I'm saying? And I let him know the difference between me and the Inslegas. And he was like, oh, okay. And so I had stepped back outside the courtroom because I had people with me. I showed them where I was at so they could come in. They got in there. He finished calling out the rest of the docket. And he seen me. He looked back up and he seen I was back in there. I guess he was hoping that I left. He seen that I was back in there. He told everybody in the courtroom to get out of the courtroom and go down to the second floor courtroom. That's where they was holding court at this time, which they've never did that before, ever in life. You know what I'm saying? I've been to child support court a million times. They never called us out of that whole courtroom to come out of it. So we go downstairs, and the DA approaches me. And he was like, hey, I talked to you, man. I was like, what you got to talk to me about? He's like, well, he was stuttering. He was like, well, I think that, if we could communicate, we could probably find a way to, come to a satisfactory conclusion. And I was like, was you talking about dismissal? He was like, well, not necessarily a dismissal, because such and such, he got to talking numbers and stuff about some arrears.
Now, he already told you that part of the case was gone. What part?
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
My bad.
So it was actually two petitions in the summons. One of them was for a modification hearing, and one of them was for the criminal contempt. I'm knowing that the modification hearing ain't shit, so I never did even send you that copy of that so you could do a response to that one. So we only responded to the criminal contempt charge. So that's why they were still going through with it, because of they still had the modification on it. So he was like, when he was talking to me, he was like, well, the criminal contempt, we had the criminal charge. He said the contempt charge is already dismissed. We dismissed that one. We just here to talk about the arrearages. And so when he said that, I'm like, oh, I got him.
Now, I told you to read your paperwork 9 times. I just had to tell people that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and I read it 9 times on different days. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just one time. And actually, the day of court, I didn't drive. I had somebody drive me, so I was reading it all the way up to the court, to the front doorstep. You know what I'm saying? So I could be familiar with it.
Right.
He was trying to bluff me, and he was trying to get me to agree to owing this much in arrears, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I ain't paying y'all none of this shit. I explained to him why it was slavery. He kind of didn't really understand it, but he was like, well, I don't want to have to take this back up to the judge because, I said, no, we going to see him. I need to go and talk. We need to go and talk to the judge because y'all ain't going to do me like y'all did me last time. He was like, well, let's go up there then. So we walked up to the judge. We got back up to the courtroom. It was nobody, like none of the people who were there for court. Nobody was in there. The only people who was in there was the clerk, the judge, one bailiff, a couple of little lawyers sitting around probably representing the other clients or the other people who was there for child support.
So they had the lawyers in there trying to learn.
Yeah, and you had one dude, I think it was the child support dude, but this is the funny thing, John, it's always a lady. So I think this dude that they had in there, he was probably like the head of the child support agency.
Yeah, because you didn't I tell you to write to him?
Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. This lady was. Then another thing was they was calling my baby mama to get her to come to court, but she never comes to court. Last time I went to jail, I was at court. She didn't come. They wasn't worried about her. But this time, they really want her to be there.
Right.
So, all right. So we get in front of the judge, and I'm thinking it's they gonna have a whole hearing, like swearing in and doing all this. Man, it was you could tell they were scared. Like you could literally tell they were scared. They brought up the modification, just that, like I said, that part right there, from 10 minutes all the way, like pretty much to the end of the video. So it's probably like a 20-minute clip of me and the judge and the DA talking. And so I ain't gonna go too much into detail about what was said all the way, but I will tell y'all the key points. So he called the name again. It was like, and I was like, no, it's not me. And I explained to him about the Inslegas. When they heard the word Inslegas, I seen him give me a certain little look, but the rest of them, I don't think they caught it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then kept on going with, I explained that, and then he said, well, the DA was like, well, we got him here for the the petition for modification. He owes such and such. We're trying to knock down and da-da-da-da-da. He said, the criminal charge was dismissed, da-da-da-da-da. He said that. And so then as he got through talking, the judge was like, do you understand what he's saying? I'm like, no, I don't understand. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because that was still one of their tricks to try to trap me under their jurisdiction, me to stand under their authority by asking me, do I understand what they? No, I don't understand. What did you talking about? And so he was like, well, what he said, he was saying that, this and that. He said, we dropped the criminal. He said, nobody's going to jail. We're not trying to take nobody to jail or nothing. We dropped the criminal contempt. And in my head, I'm thinking, how y'all drop a charge? How y'all going to try to find me guilty on paper? But then y'all drop the charge before I even come and have a hearing. I'm like, yeah, that Jonah Bay shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't even work.
But tell me more about when they was trying to press you for the rearage and what you said. It was slavery and you was gonna come after them for what?
Okay, so I told them, I said, look, I got a little bit. I ain't gonna say I got emotional. I got a little bit passionate. You know what I'm saying? Because last time I was in here, they did one thing that I really wanted people to notice, that the way they treated me in the video, how they were speaking, how nice and how polite they were. Last time I went in there, they was treating me like a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? They was treating me like I wasn't nothing. So the difference in the way they treated me let me know that what I did worked. The paperwork that I put in definitely worked based off of how they was treating me compared to how they treated me last time I was in there. You know what I'm saying? But they got to talking to marriages. I told them I wasn't paying them shit. I told them off the muscle on the record. I'm like, I'm not paying nothing. I said, because that's slavery. I said, money is a tool used to store my labor. And if you guys want me to give you guys my money without any compensation, then that's considered slavery in the Constitution. You can't put me under slavery per pursuant to the Constitution, the 1870 Tennessee Constitution. And then he got to saying, well, nobody is. He said something. He didn't really say much. The judge didn't say much at all. Last time I was there, he had a lot to say. This time, he didn't say much. He was trying to let the
He took an oath to the Constitution. He can't go against it. That's called exactly. That would be that nigga would grounds for what is that? And the penalty is death. The penalty is death.
I said, y'all violate my rights. I told him, if you guys violate my rights again, which I'm just told him that to get it over with. I'm gonna do it anyway. But I told him, if y'all violate my rights again, then I'm gonna sue y'all under 42 USC 1983 and 18 USC 241 242. I said, well, none of y'all had.
What was his look on his face when you spit that out?
Hey, what now?
What did they look like when you spit that out?
They got quiet. My baby mama said they turned red.
Exactly.
They all pale.
And what I like is you stuck to the very paperwork I wrote for you. I said, yo, don't say shit outside the paperwork.
Right. So I just pretty much reiterated what you had in the paperwork for that. But like I told him, I said, I'm really not even here for that. Oh, so another thing that I wanted to say was a key point was that they called my baby mama and she told them that I got my child. I've been had my children for years. I was still paying on it the whole time I had my children. So they kept on mentioning that. So I used that against them because they were saying, well, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. I'm like, well, y'all just sit here and stated that y'all both admit, you, the judge, you and the DA both admitted that I got custody of my children. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? It should have been no reason for me to have been paying for support in the first place. And they was like, well, the judge was like, how long have you had your children? I said, no, that ain't got nothing. I ain't even.
You said that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I told him, I said, that ain't got nothing to do. I said, first of all, you just locked me up last time I came down here. My daughter lives with me, and I had to get somebody to take her to school because I was in jail. You didn't give a fuck about how long I had her then. I didn't cut. But I was like, you didn't give a damn about how long I had her then, so don't ask me no questions about my children. Bro, the way I was talking to him, I know I was a little bit emotional.
You were greasy. You were talking to him greasy.
It was, I talked greasy to him, bro. Him and the DA, and they were scared. And I had my people with me as witnesses, and I got the recording that I sent you. Like, it was.
How was your peoples? How was your peoples reacting to the way you was going in?
So my main man is my young guy, the one who recorded the stuff. He the one who put me up on this information to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But then I just took it and went to the next level. Now he's getting information from me because he introduced. He was loving it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I can't miss this court date, bro. I gotta go with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was loving it. And then my baby mama, I've been talking to her about this. This is a different baby mama. I've been talking to her about all this stuff. She's been around me going, so she got to actually see it firsthand instead of just hearing it from me, hearing you on the show and stuff. Like, she got to actually see it happen in action. So
exactly.
It made Yeah, it made them want to tap in for real. So I've had consultations.
Well, I'm so glad you finally free of that shit in your adult life, man. And it's a damn shame they did that to you since you was a baby. It's like 17, 18 years old. But it ain't over. Yeah. We about to go do that 241, 242. You need that bread back.
No, for sure. Another thing the judge said, one more thing, it was a key point, was he said that I said there's no promissory note connected to any of this debt.
You were never my creditor.
Yeah, he said. Get what he said though. He said, well, generally, child support doesn't attach promissory notes to whatever.
Then you're not. Then you're not my creditor. I can't owe you.
Exactly. And so this is what he said. He said, so the DA was like, well, can we get the court to draw an order up saying this, and that, and that? And he was like, no, look. I said, if you asking me how long I got my kids with me, he said, well, precisely why I'm asking you that is so we can try to do an order on you to see how much you need to pay. I said, well, how do you have this order already drawn up with this number on it if you don't know how long I've had custody? And he was like, he didn't say nothing. I had caught him right there. He couldn't say nothing. So he was like, at the end of it, he basically said, I'm going to draw up an order and I'm going to, send it to you and I'm going to determine based off of what the DA gives me, I'm going to determine if we push through with it or blah, blah, blah. But like I told you, Jonah, if I would have rebutted that modification, they would have acted like I wasn't even supposed to be in the courtroom, period. They wouldn't even have me on the docket. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they can't. See, one thing that people don't realize, the Supreme Court already said child support is unconstitutional for the lack of due process. And the child support injunction that you did, for me, talks about nothing but due process. They never gave it to you. First of all, I used the federal constitution that said that, they had to have you in a common law court under common law rules. They didn't do that. You see what I'm saying? So you definitely never got or never received due process. And they already know what happens when they don't do due process. They already in a problem because that's exactly what we're going to base your 241, 242 suit on. The Constitution I use said they can't take your money for public use without just compensation first. They ain't never gave you jack bone. You know what I mean? You never was told what was the nature and cause of the accusation and the witnesses that had said something against you. You never got to confront no witnesses. The whole child support proceedings is unconstitutional and fraud and violation of due process.
They know that.
And then at the end, I put, according to the Constitution, anything that goes against it is void, and the judiciary shall proclaim it. Now, according to what you told me, that judge never said it was unconstitutional. And we're going to go after even the judge on the case, because he was the last judge that locked you up, that he never proclaimed it was unconstitutional. So pay you some money.
He didn't argue with nothing. Nothing I was saying. He never even denied anything that I said. Not one time.
Yo, when you pointed out all the violations of the Constitution, he was supposed to dismiss it, saying it was unconstitutional. He did not. So therefore, that's a deprivation of rights. You see what I'm saying?
I'm glad we didn't respond to the modification because they gave make my lawsuit stronger.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? See, like you said, if we would have responded to the modification, they wouldn't even have had me on the docket because they dismissed the
exactly. They would have dismissed it without you coming in. See, 42 USC 1983 is a suit for a civil action for deprivation of rights. You got proof that they did that, right? And then 18 USC 241, 242 is a conspiracy against rights. Him and the lawyer conspired, and the child support agency conspired to deny you your rights and take your money, i.e., to put you in slavery.
Right. Yeah, so we got a strong case. We definitely got a strong case for him. And
You see what I'm saying?
They're gonna be ready to see me, but they're gonna have to see me one more time.
And I'm pushing all these lawsuits. Why? I'm trying to get y'all to destroy child support and the rest of the things that was all unconstitutional. It's time to shut this stuff down. It is what it is. All right, thanks for giving your testimony. Let me get to the call lines, and I'm gonna leave you in the background and see what questions they got. I'm going to 864-606. Peace to the God. Peace.
Peace to the God, Jonathan.
What up?
That's fire. I got a quick question. It may be kind of simple. From notary present, when a notary certifies your document or sends your documents out, as they're certifying is that not considered signing or attesting their own document?
No.
It's just a certification.
It's a certification saying that you had whatever in there and it was sent out.
And that's it. And the stamp just really shows that that's them and they're notary public.
Yes.
Yeah, that's simple. That's all I needed. I just wanted to confirm. I kind of knew it. I just wanted to confirm.
No problem.
Yeah, we rolling.
All right. Peace, God. All right, I'm going to 530-426. Peace to the God. Peace.
Peace to the God. I'm so happy and grateful. Large sums of money come to me easily. I'm so happy and grateful. The perfect health comes to me quickly and easily. I wish the same for you, the brother James Brown, and all the other listeners on the calls.
Shay, thank you, brother. Thank you. We appreciate it.
From Oregon. You're very welcome. Hey, how was your seminar this weekend?
Off the chain. It was all newbies.
Nice.
Off the chain. And I don't think I've ever put so much information into a newbie seminar before, but it was off the chain.
Nice. So my mom and my sisters are there in Atlanta. We plan on going to the seminar. I just got my plane ticket. My son has his.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna love it. Y'all in for a treat. Yo, I got the laws to force them to discharge any and everything. We ain't going by 31 USC 3113 no more, where they can choose to do it. Nah, that's over. They gotta do it. Let me tell y'all a quick premise. 1933, they ordered all you Americans to hand in your gold and silver. When they did that, they took away your right to pay. You became the creditors of the United States. So you weren't put in slavery. They put out HJR 192 amongst other laws, a bunch of other laws. But HJR 192 by itself isn't clear on what to do. The other laws are clear. Anyway, they had to become what is called a cosigner, guarantor. In other words, they had to pay your bills because you gave them all your money to pay your own bills. So we didn't know how to utilize it. Now, I'm going to show y'all in that seminar. You know what I mean? Now, the funny thing is, I already gave y'all half of the process when I did my original discharge webinar with that money order template, right? But it's so much more to it. It's so many other laws that goes along with it that can't be denied. And One of the laws said obligations to be issued by and under the authority of the United States. And they said if they don't, they're going to lock you up. They're going to lock them up for not doing it. Yeah. This is why it's called a discharge injunction, because it forces all companies, your mortgage company bank, your bank that holds your mortgage, the light company, the gas company, the water company. I don't give a fuck what company it is. It's on and popping, y'all.
Nice. My son is 21 and my nephew is 18, and we'll all be there. I hope they get a chance to meet your son too, if he's there.
Yeah, he's gonna be there.
Another thing I wanted to mention go ahead.
Is London coming to the seminar? Yeah, we did it on a. Yeah, he coming.
Cool. And last thing for me is we're still working with my sister, if you remember, on the rescission of signatures for the house that my sister bought on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going pretty good. When we get them with the paperwork to rescind the signature, they sold her loan immediately.
Okay.
And so we just sent some work out to the new service.
I'm not even going to front.
Third-party collectors.
I'm not even going to front. When you come and get this injunction for the discharge, it doesn't matter anyway. It's going to be gone.
And that's what I'm saying is she still doesn't have anything but her credits from the first one.
Of course
or
not.
Even the second one.
What they try to do is they going to try to pass it to a third party do a legal process to try to get the house and try to do, 1877 Georgia Constitution. We all know that's my favorite one, right? So let me show y'all something.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all gotta know y'all's Constitution.
You're starting to break up. I don't know why.
Well, because I'm talking about the Constitution.
All right.
How's it now?
That's why.
It's still kind of breaking up.
Go hit us with some info. They got to chop you up.
Wow. They do it every time, don't they?
I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't just hear it. I mean, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't just hear it. I mean, I've heard it in the archives, but yeah.
Yeah, they've never stopped doing it. They never stopped doing it. But hold on, I'm about to get to it. All right, here it is. Section 4, Judiciary. Paragraph 1. Superior Court shall have exclusive jurisdiction in cases in divorce, in criminal cases where offender is subject to loss of life, confinement in the penitentiary, in cases respecting titles to land, and equity cases. A house is a title to land. A house is an equity case. The only place they can hear the case exclusively is Superior Court. But guess what? Georgia is a non-judicial proceeding foreclosure state. That's unconstitutional. We get rid of the foreclosures here just by that. Now, y'all need to go into y'all state's constitution and see who has the right to hear cases, what court, under titles of land and equity cases. Y'all still there?
Peace. Oh, yeah. Yep. No, I'm still studying. I don't know if you want to try to get another caller, but I look forward to seeing you at this next.
All right, then. Peace, God. All right, I'm going to 561-856. Peace to the God. Peace.
Peace going on, Johnny.
What up, God?
Nah, man, it was just good hearing Mr. James Brown talk about his case. I'm the one who had the conversation with you earlier.
Didn't I tell you would? And of course, everyone, I gave him a version of the same paperwork I gave James Brown. I switched it around. I actually turned it into a straight, legit injunction. So the child support injunction is up on the site, the new one. Actually, I've changed it since I put it up there. I actually got to tell London to put the exact one up today and get it up there. But anyone with child support, any of your family members with child support, yeah, get the child support injunction guaranteed to work, okay? Guaranteed. But anyway, what you think now about that paperwork? And you read it. I made you read it today. What you think about
it? Yeah. Yeah, it's just it all makes sense. Just want to make sure, I get it all down pat, as far as memory wise.
Well, get it down pat. Read it 9 times. But when you make the changes, make sure you send it back to my email so I can cross the T and dot the I's. Make sure you did it right.
Okay. Will do.
Anything else, brother?
Yeah, that was it, man. I was just, like you said, tap in to see, listen to him. It was just pleasure, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Okay, no doubt. And you're going to come up here and give your testimony on how well it worked for you, too.
For sure.
All right, peace, God. See, what y'all don't know is we win stuff all day, every day. But the only ones that give their testimonies be new people. The old people used to getting, remedies, so they don't really come up here and do testimonies like that no more. But I'm going to the next caller, 910-813. Talk loud, because I got to go bathroom. Talk loud.
All right, peace to the God. How are you, brother man? Jonah? Can you hear me? Yeah, he can't hear you, bro. He can't hear you, bro. Just go ahead. He's listening, but you ain't gonna be able to hear him because he's so far away. So just go ahead with your shit. Oh yeah. Okay. I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. I think I missed a call last week. But one thing is,
ask me, what is it?
All right, yeah.
Y'all got my wife wilding on me because I didn't wash my hands. I just came out the bathroom. What's the question?
All right. Well, I have been in the archives lately, and I was trying to. I have a business that I haven't given it over to the Secretary of State yet.
Right.
Or I haven't given it over to the Secretary of State at all.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure out. Do I need to go ahead and do an 8832 with that?
Do your 8832 and do your DBA before you take it there to get it registered. But I'm going to keep it real with you. With the tax injunction, it doesn't matter because they're not going to be able to tax your corporation anyway. As soon as you do the tax injunction.
Gotcha.
Someone asked me, what is my website? My website is jonahbay.com. JONAH.com. Now, when y'all on the site, I want y'all to go to the first page, search the first page, see if you see what you're looking for. If not, hit next and search the pages like that. Because you're going to see more of the stuff. If you use the hot buttons, you may not see what you're looking for. All right? So that's the way you surf the site. Anyway, go on, bro.
Jonah.
Yes.
All right. I was coming through through the state of Georgia, traveling through Georgia, and the cops arrested me out there for travel. I was traveling without any license, and they took me to jail down there, and then didn't even read me my rights for 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Did you already do your injunction?
Not in Georgia. I did my injunction is in Texas.
Okay, yeah, you in a whole nother state. They're not gonna know you had an injunction.
Right.
But this is what you need to do. Do your injunction, put it into the case, but you're still going to do a 241, 242 suit because you have the right to travel. So you're going to sue them because they violated your rights protected by the Constitution and the
90 seconds.
The Articles of Confederation, where it says ingress and regress. That's the right to travel.
Right.
Someone said don't have the call-in number. Girl, get off of YouTube and Google Jonah Bay Radio. And when you Google Jonah Bay Radio, it's going to give you Blog Talk Radio. And it's going to give you the number to call in. But there's no point of you calling in now. I got about 30 more people to answer calls, and we at the end of the show. You would have had to put your hand up and call in at the beginning of the show for me to get you at 6:45. All right? So remember that. Go to Google Jonah Bay Radio. But anyway, that's our show for today. I hope y'all enjoyed. I know I did. Peace to the God.
All right. Peace to the God.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.